No one's going to save you. No one's going to go harder for you than you. In the grand scheme of things, no one cares.
You could at least act like you care.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
A wise man once said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You can't continue to have the same bad habits and expect your situation to improve. There's literally so many times where we complain about our current situation and how unhappy we are, and yet we still keep doing the same things.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad! You keep digging!
If you're gonna keep living life the same way that you do, things aren't gonna improve. It's pointless to complain if you're not gonna make necessary changes. No one in your life wants to hear you complain all the time, unless they're also a complainer. And why would you surround yourself with people who are negative, who bring bad vibes, who stir up negative emotions in you, and vice versa?
Some people are never satisfied.
It's okay to vent if you're needing advice or if you're needing social support, but no one wants to consistently be around a negative Nancy. In most cases, if you really need to complain or really need to vent, do it in your journal or talk to your therapist who gets paid to hear it. Today, victimhood is really huge in American culture. It's like we're expecting someone else to save us. Everyone wants attention, everyone wants sympathy. I do think it's good that we're more aware of how some things that we used to say in the past, how they can be hurtful to certain groups, but it seems like it's gotten to a point where we're just a bunch of broken people with broken values. In my opinion, I think the princess, damsel in distress, happily ever after type movies and stories has destroyed our society. What are the things do you think have caused victimhood in American culture? For the majority of us, playing victim / feeling sorry for ourselves may garner sympathy, but it doesn't produce the results that we're expecting. I don't know if you've heard of pretty privilege, but if you have, even if you're supermodel beautiful, yeah, you may be able to skate by on your looks for a short while, but your appearance really will only get you so far. Before I met my future husband, I used to wish that I had the opportunity to experience lifestyles of Instagram models or yacht girls and how they're just like having fun, partying, being hot, living it up on a yacht. Like, that sounds amazing. But when you really look into that type of lifestyle, most of those women are doing things to be able to live that lifestyle, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I myself used to also portray myself as a victim or make it seem like I was being deprived of something. When bad things would happen to me or when I would see people that were doing better than me, I would think to myself, that's not fair, that's not fair. But when you really think about it, life's not fair and it never will be. But should you use that as an excuse and continue to feel sorry for yourself?
You could at least act like you care. Get over it.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Or do you let it light a fire under you and go hard to get everything you want out of life? No one's going to save you. No one's going to go harder for you than you. In the grand scheme of things, no one cares. Yes, most of us have friends and family who care about us, who truly want us to succeed, who want the best for us. But out in the world, in real life, from people that don't know you, no one cares. Let me give you my no one cares story. When I first started making videos on YouTube, I kind of would just make them for fun, and I kind of just made what I wanted to make, things about me, my life, and what I like to do. But the more I started learning about the platform and content creation, I realized that people aren't gonna watch you unless you give them a reason to watch, aka you provide some type of value. So to provide value, I'm trying to make videos on self-help and positivity because I want to inspire you guys to become the best versions of yourselves. If you don't know this about entrepreneurs, they typically won't just have one stream of income, they'll have multiple. The reason they do this is because they know it's not good to be dependent on one particular source, one thing, one job. You want to create multiple streams for yourself so that no one can control you.
You know, your girl got her hands in multiple things.
And I'm not saying that you can never rely on other people. Yeah, there's certain situations where you may be dependent, such as traditional marriage. If you're in a traditional relationship, wives are dependent on their husbands and children are dependent on their parents. But even in those type of relationships, you still provide some type of value. People have children because children make them happy. They want to leave their legacy on the world. That's their value. When someone gets married, they're looking for a spouse that will love them, that will be their other half. And I think it does help when you're a part of a team, or if you can collaborate. You definitely still need to have your circle, have people that you can trust. But like I said, you have to provide value. And it should work both ways. One-sided relationships hardly ever work out. And most relationships in life are transactional. But that's okay. That's why I said looks will only get you so far. Yeah, you might look good, but are you a nice person? Are you magnetic? Do you have a nice personality? Do you have chemistry with the person you're with? Looks gets your foot in the door, but your personality and your character lets you through. So many people today are dependent on the government to feed them, to house them. If they want food, they depend on food stamps. If they want a place to live, they're depending on Section 8 housing. And some people do genuinely need these benefits. But some people just don't want to work and just want to be dependent on someone else. What if there's a government shutdown and food stamps and Section 8 housing isn't covered under that? These are things people have to think about. You have to be able to sustain yourself and survive without the help of other people.
You guys wouldn't last 2 seconds on your own.
When you're dependent on someone else, you're easier to control. As I said earlier, most relationships are transactional. If or when you hit hard times, it's okay to rely on your loved ones, especially when they may have had to rely on you. Sometimes shit happens that's out of your control. And this is why you need strong relationships and people that you can trust in your life. But once you're capable, it's important to hit the ground running. You can't expect someone else to pick up the pieces of your life for you. Most people will put themselves first because that's just how humans are. To move past the victim mentality, you need to grow. I believe if you truly want to be happy, you have to become what you deem as the best version of yourself. This is how you save yourself.
Okay, shut up. I'll do it when I'm ready.
And just to give you guys a few steps you can do to get there, I think the first thing you could do is just take accountability. If you're not where you want to be in life, most likely it's your fault. People go through things and the first thing they'll do is blame someone else.
This is all your fault, Missy.
If you can take accountability, that'll empower you to make changes to move forward and avoid feeling stuck.
But at what point do you step up and say, damn, this situation keep happening. It showed up in work. It showed up in my friendships. It showed up in my relationships. At what point do you hold yourself accountable and say, maybe there is a few things I need to work on within myself?
Whenever you step out of the victim mentality, that's when you can hold yourself accountable.
Next, work on your problem-solving skills. So many of us, when we encounter problems, we complain, we cry, we get mad, we tell everyone we know, but you can't control the problems that flow your way, but you can control how you react. Rather than seeing your problems as dead ends, try to view them as puzzles. Think of ways of how you can solve the problem. I think something else you can do is just practice more self-care.
Everyone, and I mean everyone. Manis and petties at the mall.
Your physical and your mental health is the basis for pretty much everything. How can you perform at the highest level when you're not taking care of yourself? Maintaining good physical and mental health is the foundation for personal strength and resilience. Another tip, embrace change. If you want to find new opportunities, you got to be open to experience new things and be more flexible. When you embrace change, you're more adaptable. It's easier for you to overcome challenges and not feel victimized by circumstances.
It's time for me to stop being so irresponsible. I've got to shape up, focus, and come up with real solutions to my problems.
Next, you need to set personal goals for yourself. If you have very large goals, set them up into small daily goals that you can get done easier. You'll be proud of the progress you've made. And my last tip, in my opinion, probably the most important, you want to cultivate self-awareness. It's important to reflect on your thoughts and behaviors. You can't understand your strengths and weaknesses if you don't reflect on them.
Oh God, do I do that? You're right, I do that. Oh, why do I do that?
You can do this through journaling, you can do this in therapy, or even just talking with a trusted loved one. A lot of people will whine and cry victimhood and pretty much tell anyone who will listen how they've been through so much and how they're still going through so much. But there's so many successful people who have overcome obstacles that we'll never even have to face in this lifetime. Albert Einstein, he had early speech difficulties. Originally, people thought he wasn't intelligent at all, but he eventually won the Nobel Peace Prize for the theory of relativity. Even Oprah, she was born into poverty, faced numerous hardships, and teenage pregnancy. But today she's a billionaire, a media mogul. And Stephen Hawking, he was diagnosed with ALS at the age of 21, but he became a renowned physicist and contributed greatly to quantum gravity. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many other people who have gone on to do successful things when many others didn't believe in them, and they probably didn't believe in themselves at times. Nelson Mandela, J.K. Rowling, FDR, Elon Musk. If these people can overcome so many obstacles and still do great things in life, then you can make that YouTube channel. You can make that podcast. You can become the artist you've always wanted to be. You can become a millionaire. It just takes those small goals and believing in yourself. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and make changes. Just to list some common obstacles, you can't have a fear of failure. Successful people just fail forward.
Mama Bear will show Little Bear that a mistake does not have to mean a failure.
When you let fear take control, it always leads to failure. Also, low self-esteem. Your thoughts become things. When you don't believe in yourself, you don't perform to the best of your abilities. Next, your past trauma.
Emotional, damn it!
You can't let unresolved trauma influence your mindset and behaviors. Trauma breeds victimhood. For me personally, it's uncertainty. I'm uncertain of the future, and sometimes I let that paralyze me. If I keep doing YouTube, I don't know how my life is going to change, and that scares me. I also dealt with the same thing in college. I was so used to high school, middle school, elementary. I didn't understand how attending college would change my lifestyle, and because of that, I was scared. Another one is feeling overwhelmed and burnout. If you try to change too much too quickly, you're bound to burn out. It makes it easier to revert to your old ways when you take on too much too fast. And lastly, negative social influences.
Cool people make the rules, they don't break the rules. And if those kids want you to break the rules, then they're not really your friends.
Some people are like crabs in a bucket. They don't want you to succeed, they don't want you to grow because they're not growing. If you keep hanging around the same type of people, exhibiting the same behaviors as them, you're going to be in the same position as them. And lastly, resistance to change.
I'll change, I'll grow, I'll be better.
Human beings are naturally resistant to change. Even if a situation isn't ideal, it's familiar. In conclusion, stop playing the victim, become self-reliant and make necessary changes in your life, and don't be afraid of the obstacles you may face. Make new habits today. Even if they're just small ones, just take the first step and build up that momentum. I'll end it with another Einstein quote. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment and don't forget to subscribe. When you do these things, YouTube pushes the video out for other people to watch. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!